Like we got nothing to. Hoping to find this beautiful life we're living. Like we got nothing to. Like we got nothing to lose.
We were just in such a deep hole that it was hard to see how we'd get out of this. 1.4 million in debt. It was hard to see a future.
We looked at the numbers in the second week of January, quite a fuck me moment. It was pretty ugly.
After the New Year's Eve night, it just all went tits up.
I didn't think they were going to make it, to be honest with you. In actual fact, I'd have put money on it.
I went at 23 going, what the hell are we doing? And Dean was like taking us down this wild journey, and it was like, shit, we better buckle up because things about to get real.
There were some very dark days there for my father, and he did try and keep himself sane.
I stood here and looked down over the crowd, and my thoughts were, what a bloody monster.
I think with Rhythm and Vines it's one of those delightful stories where, three guys in their flat in Otago decided to have a party one day, and one of them said, well, my dad's got this property in Gisborne, maybe we could ask him.
When I spoke to my father and said, hey, I've got these guys and they want to have this party up in Gisborne over the New Year's period.
It was one of my dreams for this property to have it for events and things. My son Andrew's flat in Dunedin had two friends there at the time that had a band. They would have been only age 18 or so.
One of the initial visions of the festival was to be a stage for aspiring musicians such as ourselves to play, and no one else would book us. Let's organise our own gig.
Last thing I wanted was I shouldn't say piss up, we'll get something, a great varsity party. And I said, no, but I'll fly you all up and we'll discuss. Let's do something really good.
The night before we flew, I had a little concert Wednesday night at the Captain Cook Hotel. We had an early flight, and flights were missed.
I knew that he would be a bit hard on us, but I knew that, people like Hamish and Tom, that they could tough it out.
Getting to the house, and it was almost like that Dragon's Den or The Godfather, where we walked into this family meeting and we were being prepared to meet Mr. Witters and present our idea.
So the boys came up and we wrote down the objectives that we were going to be, within 5 years, place to be for New Year.
So Dean comes into the office and I think, oh yeah, what does he want? He's got this brilliant idea. And then he said, this is the place where all the girls are going to come. And I said, oh, shivers, what are they going to do here?
Aaron, do your David Attenborough.
Here we have 10 white girls in their unnatural habitat as they make their way down to R&V to find a mate.
So we're probably we reckon about 24 hours behind, and we'll probably be ready by Sunday 24th, lunchtime-ish. So it's a couple of hard days, 2 12-hour days, to get the general site build ready.
It's a big stage for essentially one night. It's going to be a big ghetto blaster with projection mapping and lasers and all the mod cons. A few thousand people raging in here. They'll love it, they'll enjoy it. It'll clog up everyone's Instagram and Snapchat, all those kind of the mod cons, will get saturated with it, hopefully.
The weather at the moment, as of this morning, looks a little bit better than it was forecast. However, we have just ordered $5,000 worth of roading material to be brought in this morning just in case.
Pretty fun little project to be slapped on a couple of days before the festival. But nah, it's going to look good when it's done. But there's always nervousness that it might not be, but I reckon we'll smash it. This whole year, been building up towards it, so it's worth putting in the extra hours now so the show looks unreal. Fingers crossed. Far out.
When I get my facts right, I would choose to let go. Politician, can you make a right decision for all of us?
To play at Rhythm and Vines, one, we'd never really heard of it, but we saw the lineup. So it's just like, we'd love to be a part of that, and so that was cool.
You can talk the talk, but will you walk the walk?
Man, amazing. It's good playing to people like that, they make you vibe out. Yeah.
Well, there was a slight come down after that first year, because after all the success and fun and enjoyment we had of running the festival, there were some financial issues that we worked through with the Witters family, which were unfavourable to Tom and I, and we were left with a bit of a sour taste in our mouth. The venue hire was kind of hiked, we lost money on the bar, and it was all new to us, but we kind of left in debt from that first event.
I think Dean would always wanted to have the control of it. When he ran the festival in that first year, his office was on the stage. That's just how it was.
Yeah, I think Dean and I have kind of zigged and zagged. We haven't necessarily worked together as a team, even in those initial years, and we didn't necessarily have a strong bond as business people, and it's a shame really, but that's, I guess, all part of the story.
We need to get the cherry picker in, and then we should have a piece of art, big boom box for everyone on the 28th, warm-up party, and then during the daytime, this will just be DJs and stuff while everyone drinks in the Vines. The only bar in the Vines in the South Pacific. It's pretty sick. It's gonna be loose.
We're on constant weather watch at the moment, looking at a bit of wet weather tonight, overnight, but we do have contingency plans in place to deal with a severe storm coming through. So we're all hoping it won't eventuate. It may just blow off to the east, but yeah, it is what it is. It's one of the few things we can't control.
Anyone with an available vehicle, four-wheel drive, can we please get down to the car park to help push vehicles? Weather. This will be the first real wet one that we've had since I've been here in 8-9 years, so it's a bit of a test. It's a bit of a test to our systems and how we operate. I'm Scottish, mate. Weather doesn't faze me.
Oh yeah, pretty excited. I just love the developments as well, the innovations each year, like the Super Top with this LED, and the talent we've got on this stage as well. I mean, there used to be a lot of locals. This year it's wall-to-wall internationals.
One of our artists hasn't got on a plane. I need to the office now. We're going to be another half an hour. Just don't walk into the office for the next 15 minutes. That'd be great. Thank you. So why hasn't he got on the flight?
So this has happened now. We're trying to get him on the next flight. It's saying that the next flight is in 24 hours, which makes him miss this show by 8 hours.
Yeah, okay, so first part, I need to know the airport. Where is he now?
He's in Ghana.
Ghana.
Quite a bit of rain overnight. It's getting a little bit slippy and the cars are losing traction. So we had a couple of cars get stuck, so we've had to kind of push them out of the way, which obviously slows down the loading in the car park. So I've got these guys here just pulling down some metal, a few more loads coming in, and it just means that we can keep the flow into the car park. So yeah, something we were hoping to avoid, but we didn't.
I believe it has done a lot for Gisborne. I believe it's certainly put us on basically nearly the world stage. Like anywhere, there's always the odd knockers, but it is a very short time and there's a lot of people that benefit commercially, and I think certainly there's more people that welcome the event than not.
One of Dean's sayings, which over those initial years was, we've got these people coming into Gisborne, are we going to turn them upside down and shake them, and how are we going to maximise this opportunity, which was so new to me. I was just looking forward to having this party and learning, but he had those revenue driving skills that were something that was quite foreign to me.
Yeah. We'll see you soon. We're going to try to get into this fun.
Certainly our first 2 years were not a financial success, and Leslie and I bailed the boys out for a couple of years, and then it started to get some traction.
Well, you've had your ups, your downs, sideways. You've had people who thought they were Superman, and no, they couldn't come in without going through that line there. And look at the line, look how far back it is.
How you guys going? First time here? Yeah, all sorts here.
Woo! Get on it, man. Hey, Tribble, make some noise. We got 3 days left of flying, baby.
It's getting there. People are going to watch this video and be like, fuck, these girls have no idea what they're doing. Oh, it's working. Woo!
How many beads have you got?
10. We've got a long way. It's our happy place. Everyone at R&B is always happy. Yeah, it's no bad vibes. It's always a good time no matter what, no matter when. It's always a good vibe. And look at this.
Like, you don't want to go home from R&B, ever.
Nah, never. Like
Or let it end. That's why you buy a ticket on the 5th of January, even though you
just like
got
you
home.
did last year, yeah.
General camp is at full capacity. So we need to be advising anyone that's checking in as general to go straight to rhythm now. Okay. I was in Portugal and I went to a festival there and there was this campground there and I thought to myself, I could do something like this. I emailed the event manager that was running Rhythm and Vines and I said, we should do some camping in town. I think there's a good market there just to, hold other events on the side. And at the time, she was like, oh, look, Andrew, you have a good holiday and enjoy yourself over there. I'll take control. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine.
I remember the day Andrew said to me, let's get into camping, and Tom and I were out there hustling away trying to build this bloody concert. The last thing we wanted to do was worry about the camping side of it.
I knew that there was this venue in town called Churchill Park, which was next to the Olympic pools. And I went to Churchill Park and I asked the manager there and he said, $200 a day. I was like, okay, can I lock that in for 5 days? I was like, oh, it's $1,000 and it's already got 20 toilets and 20 showers.
So Andrew saw an opportunity and with a local friend, Toby Burrows, set up the B-Dub campgrounds.
So the first year we did about 500 people, just in the one small campground, and it went really well. There was demand to move it to a bigger space, so we talked to the council and looked to expand it.
BW rules. There we go.
B-Dub suddenly went from holding 1,000, I think the second year went to 3,000, and then 8,000, 12,000, and we had 13,000 campers out there.
The lining up before we go to R&B, and these BW people are ready for some rhythm and vibes.
It soon became apparent that the camping business was more sustainable than the concert, as people set up at the beach for 5 days, they had limited overheads, and the B-Dub business was able to flourish on the back of people coming to our little concert. At one stage, the campground had sold more tickets than Rhythm and Vines itself.
Andrew and myself, we're just running every part of the business, and Andrew's really, really good at cost management, so we just ran all our costs really lean.
Tap seems to have come off here. If we manage to fix it.
The festival at the time was only a 24-hour event, so there wasn't really much of a conflict of issue in the first few years or 4 years.
There were these two complementary but yet competing businesses, people wearing different hats around the table, It was a really, really confusing and confronting time, especially when we started to become in debt with our business decisions we'd made, over potentially overextending on artists and things. Meanwhile, the campground down the road was really succeeding.
And making you guys look out for our BWTV cameras. Here we go. Take it up, take it up.
You know, I think with us being profitable and then Rhythm and Vines chasing its tail a little bit, yeah, there was definitely a lot of head-on little disputes.
We'd do all the marketing, we'd book all the bands, you know, we had a lot of the staff throughout the year, and they were able to, you know, seize an opportunity to create quite a sizable and sustainable business in our wake.
It's Ron Rowdy here, we're at BW Campgrounds and we're at the Sound Show. Check it out!
My son Andrew and Toby developed BW, the campground, and that was a raging success. People don't realise if it wasn't for their commercial success, this event would never have continued.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.